Love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. Yesterday is but today's memory, and tomorrow is today's dream. The only journey is the one within. Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and the shadows will fall behind you. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. Da-dum-dum-bum. Rap marathon. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. The metaphor for Palestine is stronger than the Palestine reality. Think in the morning, act in the noon, eat in the evening, sleep in the night. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life is service. I acted that, and behold, service is joy. To err is human, to forgive is divine. My friends are my estate. Mistakes are a fact of life. It is a response to the air that counts. I pounce. I took a deep breath and listened to the old bray of my heart. I am. He who learns must suffer, and even in our sleep, pain that cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart. And in our own despair, against our will comes wisdom to us by the awful grace of God. Into each life some rain must fall. Think where a man's glory most begins and ends, and say my glory was I had such friends. Life is divided into 3 terms: that which was, which is, and which will be. Let us learn from the past to profit by the present, and from the present to live better in the future. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. The ultimate aim of the ego is not to see something, but to be something. They can conquer who believe they can. The darkest places in hell are reserved for those who maintain their neutrality in times of moral crisis. Friendship is love without its wings. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. A picture is a poet without words. Unity is strength, and there is teamwork in the collaboration. Wonderful things can be achieved. I love you the more, and I believe you had liked me for my own sake and for nothing else. Be happy for this moment. This moment is your life. One word frees us all the weight of pain, and in life the word is love from above. Turtle dove. We do not remember days, we remember moments. Happy are those who dare courageously to defend what they love. Atlantis will rise again. Bam, 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 bam. I can see in your eyes that it's true. But it gave you everything I had. But the feelings ain't equal, 'cause she's for the people. We are all here on earth to help others. What on earth the others are here for, I don't know. One loyal friend is worth 10,000 relatives. When words leave off, music begins. Deep in their roots, all flowers keep alight. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that can't not fly. A man's inhumanity to man makes countless thousands mourn. But a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? Which forms from Polonian shore. Time is the substance from which I am made. Time is a river which carries me along, but I am the river. It is a tiger that devours me, but I am the tiger. It is a fire that consumes me, but I am the fire. You love me, but I know it's all lies. I can see in your eyes that it's true. But it gave you everything I had. But the feelings ain't equal, 'cause she's for the people. poet is a nightingale who sits in darkness and seems to cheer its own solitude with sweet sounds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives without forethought of grief. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. And no one can be good for long if goodness is not in demand. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are, even if the hopes you started out with are dashed. Hope has to be maintained, but I am insane. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind and therefore sent to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee, indeed. But it can't give everything like that. But the feelings ain't equal, 'cause she's for the people. Nothing happens unless we dream. I can barely conceive of a type of beauty in which there is no melancholy. Nostalgia is not a place to live. The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. The truest characters of ignorance are vanity and pride and arrogance, wise to resolve, impatient to perform. Love is when you meet someone who tells you something new about yourself, raps on the shelf, rhymes on the shelf, but I begin to belch. Love is but the discovery of ourselves and others, and the delight in the recognition. Time and tide wait for no man. Do not go gentle into that good night, but rage against the dying of a light. A person often meets his destiny on the road he took to avoid it. I'm the spoken poetry poet. I'm a poet and I know it. Humility, that low sweet root from which all heavenly virtues shoot. I have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Music is God's gift to man, the only art of heaven given to earth, the only art of earth we take to heaven, rapping. Tell me I'm clever, tell me I'm kind, tell me I'm talented, tell me I'm cute, tell me I'm sensitive, graceful, and wise, tell me I'm perfect, but tell me the truth. Time is too slow for those who wait, too swift for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, too short for those who rejoice, but for those who love, time is eternity. Cherish your human connections, your relationship with friends and family, the glory of garden and hands in the dirt, head in the sun, heart with nature to nurture, a garden is to feed, not just on the body but the soul. Advice is like snow, the softer it falls, the longer it dwells upon, and the deeper it sinks into the mind. Rhyme after rhyme, all day and all night. The most valuable wealth of a man is his knowledge, which cannot be destroyed. Ahoy, oh boy, a toy. Heaven has no rage like love to hatred turned, nor hell a fury like a woman scorned. Do not wait, the time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Death is the golden key that opens the palace of eternity to keep your marriage brimming with love in the loving cup. Whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. A hero is one who knows how to hang on 1 minute longer, rapper forever. Really, at the end of the day, the only thing you can control is yourself. The only person you can truly educate is yourself. You have to redefine what beauty is to you, so you can't be affected by what people are saying, rapping, never ending. The strongest man in the world is he who stands most alone. A man is original when he speaks the truth that has always been known to all good men. Youth is the gift of nature, but age is a work of art. Love is the crown and grace of humanity, but holiest right of the soul, the golden link which binds us to duty and truth, the redeeming principle that chiefly reconciles the heart to life and is prophetic of eternal good, like tomorrow with today. I want to see thine seeing China if I could come back the same day. Away, oh hey. And consistency is the only thing in which men are consistent. Rare is the union of beauty and purity. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they saw. Poetry has never been the language of barriers. It's always been the language of bridges. I build bridges into unexplored regions. In a poem, the words be tapping. They just come. I let them, otherwise I wouldn't spit. To interfere with what is happening is to distort the poem. Just a very small degree of intelligence and supervision is necessary, very tactful. Any revision later that violates the text as it came, that begins rewriting, respitting the words is fake, but they today culture makes all men gentle. Life is a journey that must be traveled no matter how bad the roads and accommodations. The most beautiful thing in the world is, of course, the world itself, and New York is the most beautiful city in the world. It is not far from it. No urban. If New York is not the most beautiful city in the world, it is not far from it. No urban night is like the night there. Squares after squares of flame set up and cut into the aether. Here is our poetry, spitting never-endingly, for we have pulled down the stars to our will. For all sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest should be. It might have been. Self-defense is nature's eldest law, not failure, but low aim is crime. Follow your inner moonlight, don't hide the madness and craziness. Poetry begins where language starts, in the shadows and accidents of one's person's life. Because thou must not dream, thou need not despair. Men are the dreams of the shadow. You cannot teach a crab to walk straight. The revolution that takes place in your head, nobody will ever see that. I hope you will go out and let stories happen to you, and that you will work them, water them with your blood and tears and your laughter till they bloom, till you yourself burst into bloom. The chief obstacle to the progress of the human race is the human race. It is not possible either to trick or escape the mind of Zeus. I hate chickpeas. I like humans, but I ate that before I realized it was made out of chickpeas. Rapid indeed. Only the divine love bestows the keys of knowledge. For me, the vast, marvelous to be alive. For man, or for flowers, or beast, or bird, the supreme triumph is to be most vividly and perfectly alive. When hypocrisy is a character trait, it also affects one's thinking, because it consists in negation of all the aspects of reality that one finds disagreeable, irrational, repugnant. Life is one long struggle in the dark. Will this fire ever spark like a rainbow in the dark? In a full heart, there is a room for everything, and in an empty heart, there is room for nothing. The connections between and among women are the most feared, the most problematic, and the most potentially transforming force on the planet. If one had but a single glance to give the world, one should gaze on Istanbul. Men, it has been well said, think in herds. It will be seen that they go mad in herds, while they only recover their senses slowly, and one by one, dumb but dumb kingdom come by. The art will vow, the art will vow lost. By the will art thou found. By the will art thou free, captive, and bound. Colors are the smiles of nature. A fool and his money are so soon parted. Beauty is that which is simultaneously attractive and sublime. The artist's role is to raise the consciousness of the people, to make them understand life, the world, and themselves more completely. That's how I see it. Otherwise, I don't know why you do it. The real conversation always contains an invitation. You are inviting another person to reveal herself or himself to you, to tell you who they are or what they truly want. Home is not where you live, but where they understand you. The most authentic thing about us is our capacity to recreate, to create, to overcome, to endure, to transform, to love, and to be greater than our suffering. For there is no friend like a sister in a calm or stormy weather, to cheer one on the tedious way, to fetch one if one goes astray, to lift one if one totters down the strafe, and whilst one stands, I am the man, the bam, bam, ba bam, wham, bam, bank, man. And knowledge is proud that it knows so much. Wisdom is humble that it knows no more. True love cannot be found where it does not exist, nor can it be denied where it does. If hope were dupes, fear may be liars, fire, loss, and possession, death and life are one. There falls no shadow where there shines no sun. We are each other's magnitude and bond. About the knowledge, the general knowledge of time on the island depends, curiously enough, on the direction of the wind. As we grow, we learn to handle situations differently than we normally would. Let no one weep for me or celebrate my funeral with mourning, for I still live as I pass to and fro through the mouths of men. Ba-bam, bam, ba-bam. Real misanthropes are not found in solitude, but in the world, since it is experience of life and not philosophy which produces real hatred of mankind. Rhyme after rhyme is the steady, quiet, plodding ones who win in a lifelong race like the sand, and the oyster is a creative irritant. In each poem I spit, I rap, I'm trying to reveal a truth so it can't have a fictional beginning, rapping never ending. Let us never know what old age is. Let us know the happiness time brings, not count the years. Great it is to believe the dream as we stand in youth by the starry stream. But a greater thing is to fight life through and say at the end, the dream is true. The discontent that lies in the human condition is not satisfied simply by material things. I am indeed a king because I know how to rule myself. Raps on the shelf. I begin to belch. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. And alliance with a powerful person is never safe. Diversity really means becoming complete as human beings. All of us, we learn from each other. If you're missing on that stage, we learn less. And we all need to be on that stage, rapping on a rage. Her angel's face as the great eye of heaven shine bright and made a sunshine in a shady place. Give me a kiss, and to that kiss a score, then to that 20 add 100 more, 1,000 to that 100 to kiss on, to make that 1,000 up a million, treble that million, and when that is gone, when done, let's kiss afresh as we first begun. Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum. I'm always thinking of hiring an assistant, rapping relentless. Oh, reason abstract, a phantom of the walking state. I had already expelled you from my dreams. It seems now I have reached a point where those dreams are about to become fused with apparent realities. Now there is only room for myself, raps on the shelf, and I begin to ba-ba-ba. I can see it in your eyes, it's true. But it gave you everything I had. But the feelings ain't wrong, 'cause she's for the people. Every soul is a melody which needs renewing. He that is taught only by self himself has a fool as for a master. Procrastination is the thief of time. The February sunshine steeps your bows, and tints the buds and swells the leaves within to keep the heart unwrinkled, to be hopeful, kindly, cheerful, reverent. That is to triumph over old age. He conquers who endures. The house of delusions is cheap to build, but drafty to live in. And the blood of brave men was shed like onto a shedding of rain from a black cloud. Wow, pow, pow. Every man of action has a strong dose of egoism. Infinite just maintains establishmentarianism. I can see it in your eyes, it's true. But it gave you everything I had. But the feelings ain't wrong, she's for the people. And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? I am patient with stupidity, but not with those who are proud of it. What millions died of that seizures might be great. Poetry is thoughts that breathe and words that burn. Living is no laughing matter. You must live with great seriousness like a squirrel, for example. I mean, without looking for something beyond and above living. I mean, living must be your whole occupation. Literature is the immortality of speech. Literature is the immortality of speech. I am Peach. It doesn't matter who my father was. It matters who I remember he was. Distance not only gives nostalgia, but perspective and maybe objectivity. Rapping relentlessly. I can see in your eyes it's true. But it gave you everything I had. But the feelings ain't equal. Cause she's for the people. I don't know that we really think any thoughts. We think connections between thoughts. That's where the mind moves. That's what's new. And the thoughts themselves have probably been there in my head or lots of other people's heads for a long time. And nothing is more memorable than a smell one scent can be unexpected, momentary, and fleeting, yet conjure up a childhood summer beside a lake in the mountains. And individually, we are one drop. Together, we are an ocean. Rapping never ending. I have always knocked at the door of that, a wonderful and terrible enigma, which is life. The universe is made of stories, not atoms. Rap 'em. Every beginning is only a sequel. After all, and the book of events is always open halfway through. I'm a villain, lurking in the dead of night. Something in my head ain't right. You're gonna need your bed tonight. For a villain, I'm a villain. Evil to my wicked bones, tortured in my twisted soul. My heart is just a big black hole. I'm a villain. No rival will steal away my sure love. That glory will be my gray hair. If the world seems cold to you, kindle fires to warm it. Friends die, friends become demented, friends quarrel, friends drift with old age into silence. Glory paid to our ashes comes too late. Poetry is language at its most distilled and most powerful. We are asleep with compasses in our hands. Curiosity will conquer, fear even more than bravery will. And still, poetry about ill. Lurking in the dead of night, something in my head ain't right. You're gonna need your bed tonight. For a villain, I'm a villain. Evil to my wicked bones, tortured in my twisted soul. My heart is just a big black hole. I'm a villain. When I began to spit into poetry, it's when I began to listen to the stones, and I began to listen to what the clouds had to say, and I began to listen to others, and I think most importantly for all of us, then you begin to learn to listen to the soul of yourself in here, which is also the soul of everyone else. I think accessible just means that a reader, a spitter, can walk into the poem without difficulty. The poem is not, as someone put it, a deflective entry. I'm a villain, lurking in the dead of night. Something in my head ain't right. You're gonna need your bed tonight. For a villain, I'm a villain. Evil to my wicked bones, tortured in my twisted soul. My heart is just a big black hole. I'm a villain. Try to be like the turtle, at ease in your own shell. If I told you about a land of love, friend, would you follow me and come? I think a lot of people can spit poems that are howls of anguish. I think I probably spit in such things and then torn them up. When I see a bird that walks like a duck and swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, I call the bird a duck. Holy cluck, cluck, cluck. Now, autumn's fire burns slowly along the woods, and day by day the dead leaves fall and melt. My face begins to melt. I felt something in my head ain't right. You're gonna need your bed tonight. For a villain, I'm a villain. Evil to my wicked bones,
a twisted soul. My heart is just a big black hole. I'm a villain.
The whole shadow of man is only as big as his hat. To love is to admire with the heart, to admire, to love with the mind. No distance of place or lapse of time can lessen the friendship of those who are thoroughly persuaded of each other's worth. However, I learned something. I thought that if the young person, the student, has poetry in him or her, spit into her by forever, infinity, never ending, a spoken poetry marathon, a rap megalodon.